Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Sabbath School Nuggets. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Dr. Bronny for walking us through last week's lesson, The Conflict Behind All Conflicts. Now, this week, our lesson is entitled, God Fights for You. Our memory text for this week is found in Joshua 10 and 42. And Joshua captured all these kings and their land at one time because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. One of the questions that people ask after reading a book like Joshua is, how can a loving God endorse the kind of war that we see in the book of Joshua? After all, we're talking about the removal of entire groups of people in what some would call genocide. As the Sabbath lesson points out, we need to keep in mind that there is a war behind every war. That war is the war between good and evil. And I'd like to suggest that many of us may not fully understand the nature of evil and the lengths one must go in order to rid the world of evil. The hard part is, what do you do when the evil you are up against is found in an entire nation of people? Now, this brings us to Sunday's lesson, which attempts to help us understand how evil these nations were. Now, here's the problem. When it comes to evil, most of us have only had a glimpse of it. As such, we might think of people like Hitler or Stalin as evil, or we hear about a serial killer who has done horrific things. And for us, living in the 21st century, evil is something that happens sporadically. What we do not have is a frame of reference for an entire nation or a group of people who practice evil on the level that these nations did. Added to that, we do not fully understand the destructive nature of evil. That evil, first and foremost, will wipe out everything that is good and holy before it self-destructs. But that's not all. Once evil takes root and it gains power, just like Hitler, it cannot be reasoned with. It cannot be bargained with, and it will not stop until someone steps in and forcefully puts a stop to it. Once evil takes root, it's like a cancer, and it will only spread and spread until it kills the very thing it has invaded. And just like cancer, all too often, the only way you can stop it, is you have to cut it out once and for all. Today, we have no frame of reference for human sacrifices, let alone baby sacrifices. We don't have a frame of reference for the types of sexual or physical violence that took place on a daily basis. Nor do we have a frame of reference for just how meaningless or cheap human life was to them. And so here we are in the 21st century trying to judge the actions of people who had to confront evil on a scale you and I know nothing about. And as the lesson pointed out, the inhabitants of Canaan had been given 400 years to change. And instead of growing in compassion, they simply became more evil. They became so evil that the only choice God had left was to remove the evil in order to protect the innocent. After all, if evil refuses to stop murdering the innocent, then what choice is there but to step in and to stop it?